I am going to reveal 10 study tips that can change your whole perspective on how you study in 2026. These aren't just generic advice. They're biological hacks to turn you into a learning machine. Tip number 1. Start with your why. Most of you sit down to study because you have to, and that is exactly why you hate it. The brain resists obligation. It craves purpose. You need to stop looking at the textbook as a burden and start looking at it as a currency to buy your freedom. Think about it. Why does calculus feel like torture? It's because you're staring at integrals instead of the bigger picture. But what if you shifted your perspective? You aren't studying math, you are studying the logic required to become a top-tier engineer who drives a Porsche and retires your parents. That's the why. Before you open any book, write down exactly what you want your life to look like in 5 years. Tape it to your wall. When you feel lazy, look at that paper. Motivation is temporary, but a vision is permanent fuel. If your why doesn't make you emotional, it's not strong enough. Tip number 2. Use the Pomodoro technique, but with a twist. The standard advice is 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break. But have you ever felt like 25 minutes is just too short when you are finally in the zone? Or that taking a break every half hour breaks your flow? The goal here is to beat cognitive fatigue without killing your momentum. Imagine you are playing a video game. You have a stamina bar. If you sprint for 3 hours straight, the bar hits 0 and your character collapses. That is your brain after a marathon study session. Try the 50-10 split. Study for 50 minutes with absolute laser focus, then take a 10-minute tech-free break. But be honest with yourself. If you spend your break on Instagram, does your brain actually rest? No, it just switches tasks. Go stare at a window, annoy your sibling, or do some push-ups. Your stamina bar needs to recharge, not drain faster. Tip number 3. Create a blackout zone to kill distractions. Do you really think you can multitask? Science says that if your phone buzzes, even if you don't look at it, your focus drops by 40%. You are literally making yourself dumber just by having the phone on the desk. So how do you actually fix this? You need to treat your study space like a sterile operating theater. If a surgeon is performing heart surgery, do they check their WhatsApp notifications? Absolutely not. Put your phone in another room, under a pillow, or give it to your mom and tell her not to give it back until you finish the chapter. If you are using a laptop, use a website blocker to kill YouTube and Reddit. The moment you remove the option to be distracted, your brain has no choice but to focus on the work. It's painful for the first 10 minutes, but then you enter flow state, where time disappears and you actually get things done. Tip number 4. Master the Feynman technique. This is the ultimate lie detector for your knowledge. We often fool ourselves into thinking we understand something just because we recognize the words. This is called the illusion of competence. You read a definition, nod your head, and think, easy. But can you explain it without the book? Pretend you have to teach the concept to a 5-year-old kid who only cares about cartoons and ice cream. If you use jargon like mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, the kid is bored. You have to say the mitochondria is like a tiny battery that gives the cell energy to run. Pick a topic you are struggling with. Take a blank sheet of paper and write down the explanation in simple language. If you get stuck or find yourself reaching for a textbook word, that is your gap. That is where you don't actually know the concept. Fix the gap and try again. Tip number 5. Use active recall instead of passive reading. Did you know that 90% of students study by rereading their notes and highlighting? This is the academic equivalent of watching a gym workout on YouTube and expecting to get muscles. It feels productive, but it does nothing. You're putting information in, but the exam requires you to pull information out. Imagine you just finished a history chapter. Instead of turning the page, what if you closed the book immediately? Stare at the wall and ask yourself, what did I just read? Force your brain to retrieve the dates, the names, and the events. It will feel uncomfortable. You will struggle, but that struggle is the feeling of your brain building neurons. If it feels easy, you're not learning. Do this for every single paragraph. It slows you down, but your retention will skyrocket. Tip number 6. Hack your biological prime time. Everyone has a specific time of day when their brain is sharpest. For most teenagers, this is the morning. For some night owls, it's 11 p.m. But are you wasting your golden hour? The biggest mistake students make is doing the easy stuff, like copying notes or drawing diagrams during their prime time, and saving the hard stuff like math problems for when they are tired. Flip the script. Identify when you feel most awake. During this hour, you only touch the hardest, most disgusting subject you have, the one you hate. Eat the frog first. If you conquer the hardest task when your energy is high, the rest of the day feels like a breeze. Don't waste your best energy on busy work. Tip number 7. Use the 2-minute rule to kill procrastination. The hardest part of studying isn't the studying, it's the starting. Newton's first law applies to students. A student on the bed tends to stay on the bed. The thought of, I have to study for 3 hours is terrifying, so your brain paralyzes you. So how do you stop the paralysis? You lie to your brain. Tell yourself, I'm not going to study, I'm just going to open my book and read for 2 minutes. That's it. Your brain can't say no to 2 minutes. It's too easy. But here's the magic. Once you start, the friction disappears. You'll find that after 2 minutes, you naturally keep going. It's like pushing a car. The hardest part is getting the wheels to turn the first inch. After that, momentum takes over. Next time you feel lazy, just commit to 120 seconds. Tip number 8. Implement spaced repetition to stop the leaking bucket. Your memory is a leaky bucket. You pour information in and it leaks out over time. Have you ever studied a topic perfectly on Monday and by Friday it's gone? That's because you didn't plug the leak. How do you fix this? You need to review the topic at specific intervals. Study it today, review it for 10 minutes tomorrow, day 1, review it again in 3 days, day 3, then again in a week, day 7. Each time you review, you interrupt the forgetting process. You are sending a signal to your brain saying, hey, this info is important, keep it in the hard drive. Use tools like Anki flashcards or just a simple calendar system. It takes way less time to review something 5 times for 10 minutes than to relearn it once for 5 hours. Tip number 9. Practice with past papers to simulate reality. Why do you know the formulas but still fail the test? Because textbook questions are polite. They are designed to help you learn. Exam questions are rude. They are designed to trick you. If you only practice with the textbook, you are training for a friendly sparring match, but the exam is a street fight. So stop hiding from the hard questions. Get the last 5 years of question papers, set a timer, sit in a chair without your phone. Simulate the exam environment. If you get stuck, don't look at the answer key immediately. Struggle with it. This trains your brain to handle the pressure and the weird phrasing of questions. The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in war. Tip number 10. Prioritize sleep as a study tool. This is the one students ignore the most. Do you really think pulling an all-nighter is a badge of honor? It's actually brain damage. When you are awake, you are gathering information, temporary RAM. When you sleep, your brain processes that information and moves it to long-term storage. If you study for 10 hours and sleep for 4 hours, you're basically hitting don't save when you document. You will wake up groggy, your reaction time will be slow, and your memory will be foggy. Treat sleep like charging your phone. You wouldn't leave the house with 10% battery, so don't start a study day with 10% energy. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. It's not lazy, it's efficient. So there you have it, the roadmap to hacking your academic life. But remember, watching this video is the easy part. Doing it is the hard part. Pick just one of these tips, maybe the phone blackout or the 2-minute rule, and start today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today.